Sri Radha Krishna Bhogavna Sam Kanda Radha Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Dwarka Dham ki jai, Swami the Bhakti ki jai.
The neurological being how stimulated it.
Jai Ho.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my respectful obeisances or glorious confounder Charashila Prabhupada. It's like Maharaj is not ready, so maybe we'll still play Bhajan. Krishna, Krishna,
जनप्रिय प्रिय करो कृपा भरऊ श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरऊ भुवि भुव मारव अंतरक वंदे रूप सनातन जगुजुग विचार नहीं कल्पना सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं करो विचार नहीं कल्पना धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं विचार नहीं कल्पना सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं श्री चैतन्य कृपा बरौ लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं करो
Haribol. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Kumar, welcome.
Thank you, Maharaj.
It
Dandava Pranam.
might have been short notice for this class. Yesterday, I somehow got the idea, Chaitanya Prema was like really tired, and so I thought he said today there'd be no class. Then when he called me today, he said he'd want me. So you see who shows up. My bookmark, I think, is a little bit behind. Yeah, way behind. We're on in chapter 9, I think, on partaking of prasadam. No, we went more than that.
Remembrance.
You got it. Good. My bookmark was way back for yesterday. Remembrance. Huh?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschat Chade Satarini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschat Chade Satarini Shri Rupa Manobhishtam Prapitam Hina Bhutani Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Yadati Swapadam Tikam Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Trishe Namaha. Okay, that's the spot. Okay, it's chapter 10 actually, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Remembrance.
Hare Krishna.
Hearing, chanting, and remembering, right?
Maharaj, can I read?
Mm-hmm.
Maharaj, please, can I read?
Please read.
Thank you. Yeah, remembrance. Some way or other, if someone establishes in his mind his continuous relationship with Krishna, this relationship is called remembrance. About this remembrance, there is a nice mental Vishnu Purana, where it is said, simply by remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities become eligible for all kinds of auspiciousness. For let me always remember the Lord, who is born and eternal. In the Padma Purana, the same remembrance is explained as follows. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, Krishna, because if someone remembers him, either at the time of death or during his past life, he becomes free from all sinful reactions. Hare Krishna.
Any comment?
You mean comment, please? Yes. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada is stressing on the need of the practitioner of devotional service to remember Krishna. Because remembering Krishna entails or contains some qualities or auspiciousness that when we remember Krishna, because of his potency, he makes one to be in devotion all with Krishna. This is my little comment on it. Maharaj.
Okay. You want to read the next one?
Meditation.
Meditation.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Meditation. To meditate means to engage the mind in kind of the form of the Lord. The qualities of the Lord, the activities of the Lord, and the sense of the Lord. Meditation does not mean anything impersonal or void. According to the Vedic literature, meditation is always on the form of vision. In the Simba Puna, there is a statement about meditation on the form of God. It is there. Meditation focusing on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of the Head has been accepted as transcendental and beyond experience of material pain and pleasure. By such meditation, even one who is grossly miscreant can be delivered from the sinful reactions of his life. In the Vishnu Dharma, there is a statement about meditation on the transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said, persons who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness and who remember the transcendental qualities of the Lord become free from all reactions to sinful activities. And by being so cleansed, they become fit to enter into the kingdom of God. In other words, no one can enter into the kingdom of God without being free from all sinful reactions. One can avoid sinful reactions simply by remembering the laws for qualities, pastimes, etc. In the Padma Purana, there is a statement about remembering the activities of the Lord. A person who is always engaged in meditation on sweet pastimes and wonderful activities of the Lord surely comes free from all material contamination. In some of Puranas, the evidence is given that if someone is simply meditating on devotional activities, he achieved the desired result and has been faced and has face to face the supreme personality of God. In this connection, there is a story in the Brahma Vaivata Purana that in the city of Prastista Napura in South India, there was once a Brahmana who was not very well to do, but who was nevertheless satisfied in himself, thinking that it was because of his past misdeed and by desire of Krishna that he did not get sufficient money and opulence. So he was not at all sorry for his poor material position. And he used to live very peacefully. He was very open-hearted. And sometimes he went to hear some lectures delivered great realized souls. At one such meeting, while he was very faithfully hearing about Vaishnava activities, he was informed that these activities can be performed even by meditation. In other words, if a person is unable to actually perform Vaishnava activities physically, he can meditate upon the Vaishnava activities and thereby acquire all of the same results. Because the Brahmana was not very well to do financially, he decided that he would simply meditate on grand royal devotional activities and began business thus. Sometimes he would take his bath in the river Godavari. After taking his bath, he would sit in a secluded place on the bank of the river. And by practicing the yoga exercise of pranayama, the usual breathing exercise. He would concentrate his mind. These breathing exercises are meant to mechanically fix the mind upon a particular subject. That is the result of breathing exercise and also of the different sitting postures of yoga. Formerly, even quite ordinary persons used to know how to fix the mind upon the remembrance of the Lord. And so the Brahmana was doing this. When he had fixed the form of the Lord in his mind, he began to imagine in his meditation that he was dressing the Lord very nicely in costly clothing with ornament, helmet, and other paraphernalia. Then he offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord. After finishing the dressing, he began to imagine that he was cleansing the temple very nicely. After cleansing the temple, he imagined that he had many water jugs made of gold and silver. And he took all these jugs to the river and filled them with the holy water. Not only did he collect water from the Godavari, but he collected from the Ganges, Yamuna, Narmada, and Kaveri. Generally, a Vaishnava, while worshiping the Lord, got water from all these rivers by mantra chanting. This Brahmana, instead of chanting some mantra, imagined that he was physically carrying water from all these rivers in golden and silver water pots. Then he collected all kinds of paraphernalia for worship: flowers, fruits, incense, sandalwood, pop. He collected everything to place before the deity. All these waters, flowers, and scented articles were then very nicely offered to the deity to their satisfaction. Then he offered arati. And with the relative principles, he finished all these activities in the correct worshiping method. He would daily execute similar performances as his routine work, and he continued to do so for many, many years. Then one day, the Brahmana imagined his meditation that he had prepared some sweet rice with milk and sugar and offered the preparation to the deity. However, he was not very satisfied with this offering because the sweet rice had been prepared recently and it was still very hot. This preparation, sweet rice, should not be taken hot. The cooler the sweet rice, the better it tastes. So because the sweet rice had been prepared by the Brahmana very recently, he wanted to touch it so that he could know whether it was fit for eating by the Lord. As soon as he touched the sweet rice pot with his finger, he immediately was burnt by the heat of the pot. In this way, his meditation broke. Now, when he looked at his finger, he saw that it was burnt, and he was wondering in astonishment how this could have happened, because he was simply meditating on touching the hot sweet rice. He never thought that his finger would actually become burnt. While he was thinking like this, Vaikuntha, Lord Narayana, seated with the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, began to smile harmoniously. On seeing this smiling of the Lord, all the goddesses of fortune attending the Lord became very curious and asked Lord Narayan why he was smiling. The Lord, however, did not reply to their inquisitiveness, but instead immediately sent for Brahmana. An airplane sent from Vaikuntha immediately brought the Brahmana into Lord Narayan's presence. When the Brahmana was thus present before the Lord and the goddess of fortune, the Lord explained the whole story. The Brahmana was then fortunate enough to get an eternal place in Vaikuntha in association of the Lord and his Lakshmi. This shows how the Lord is all-pervading in spite of his being locally situated in his abode. Although the Lord was present in Vaikuntha, he was present also in the heart of the Brahmana when he was meditating on the worshipping process. Thus, we can understand that things offered by the devotee, even in devotion, are accepted by the Lord, and by help, and they help one if the desired result. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
All right.
Hare
It's
Krishna.
very interesting. He had completely pure desire just to serve. So it's not exactly what you're doing, but your conscious. He had full consciousness doing all, so that is, and Krishna accepts that. But we shouldn't try to get too carried away and think, I don't have to do anything, I'll just meditate. You have to be very pure. If we have facility, we offer the most that we can. But back in the beginning there, Prabhupada used that term kingdom of God a few times. And that's the Christians talk about the kingdom of God, right? But they don't want to be subjects of a king. It's like Prabhupada said, they want the Ram Raja without Ram. They want all the sense gratification and, freedom from anxiety, but they don't want to surrender to the Lord. So he's saying how it's not, what you have to live a pure life to get into the kingdom of God. But most Christians think every time someone dies, oh, he went to heaven, he's gone to heaven, but it's not that easy to go to heaven. It's not like everybody goes. There's many other planets. All right. So that's a very interesting little story that Prabhupada tells quite a few times, actually. And there's another story about Raghunath Das Goswami. One time he had indigestion, and doctor was called and said he was eating too much sweet rice, and nobody could understand. Maybe it was Rupa Goswami. He never ate anything. He ate just a little tiny bit of buttermilk. But then they found out that in his meditation, he was dreaming he was at a great big festival, and there was a big feast, and he was eating a lot of sweet rice in his meditation. And so he actually got indigestion from it, even though he didn't really eat anything. So we should be always thinking how we can serve Krishna better, and Krishna will give us more and more nice facilities. All right. I see we have
Hare Krishna.
Anandini Dhamma here. Nice to see you. I didn't see you yesterday. So would you like to read? Aspects of transcendental service.
Hare Krishna.
Servitorship.
Chapter 11, aspects of transcendental service, servitorship.
I
In the opinion of
don't
the
hear
Karmis,
anything from you, just some rumbling.
my speaker is not good.
Maybe you don't have a good connection at the moment because it's just scratching.
Oh, let me check my speaker again.
At least that's all I hear is a lot of scratching.
Hare Krishna. Now, is it okay now?
Somebody else can read. Kumar, did
Hare
you
Krishna.
read yet?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
My speaker is still not good.
Chapter 11. Should I read?
Who has a good connection?
Hare
My,
Krishna.
speaker, my voice is
Okay.
still cracking.
Mataji, you always have good connection with the rest of them sometimes.
Should I read, Maharaj?
Yeah, you can read now and we'll see if anybody else can fix up their connection.
Yeah. Chapter 11. Aspects of Transcendental Service. Servitorship. In the opinion of the karmis, fruitive workers, offering the results of karma is called servitorship. But according to Vaishnava Acharya like Rupa Goswami, servitorship means constant engagement in some kind of service to the Lord. In the Skanda Puran, it is said that those who are attached to ritualistic activities, the four orders in social life and the four orders in spiritual life are considered devotees. But when devotees are actually engaged in offering service to the Lord directly, this must be Bhagavatas or pure devotees. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities or prescribed duties according to the four orders of social and spiritual life are not actually pure devotees. But still, because they are offering the result to the Lord, they are accepted as devotees. When one has to such desire, but acts spontaneously out of love of God, such a person must be accepted as pure devotee. Conditioned souls who have come into contact with the material world are all more or less desirous of lording in over material nature. The system of Varnashram, the prescribed duties under this system are so designed that the conditioned soul may enjoy the material world according to his desire for sense gratification and at the same time gradually become elevated to spiritual understanding. Under these prescribed duties of Varna and Ashram, there are many activities which belong to devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Those devotees who are householders accept Vedic ritualistic performances as well as the prescribed duties of devotional service because both are meant for satisfying Krishna. When householder devotees perform some Vedic ritualistic duties, they do so to satisfy Krishna. As we have previously discussed, any activities aiming at satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead is considered devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami described one who is fit for becoming engaged in devotional service. He says that person who are neophytes and who have developed a little love of Godhead are not interested in the activities of sense gratification in proportion to their devotion. In proportion to their devotion. But if there is still some attraction for sense gratification, gratifying activities,
I have a class
then
at
the
5:30.
result of such activities should be offered to Krishna. This is also
7.
called engagement in the service of Lord, with the Lord as the master and the workers as the servant. In the Naradiya Puran, there is a statement of how this servitorship is transcendental. It is said there that a person who is constantly engaged in devotional service by his body, mind, and words, or even a person who is not practically engaged but is simply desiring to be so, is considered to be liberated. Hare Krishna. Should I read more or I should give some comment?
Maybe you can give some comment.
Yeah, in this servitorship is explained that the person should be engaged in devotional service by his body, mind, and words. Even if he is not practically engaged himself, but if there is a desire to serve the Lord, is considered he is a liberated person. So we should engage ourselves but engaging ourselves is better than what we are desiring. I think so. So we should do the devotional service to the Lord, whatever our capacity. What we are in good in a thing that we can do properly for the God without any mistake.
Very good.
Should I read more?
If you like, yeah.
Yeah. Devotional service in friendship. Devotional service in friendship can be divided into two categories. The first is to act as confidential servant of the Lord, and the other is to act as the well-wisher of the Lord. The devotee who has confidence in devotional service to the Lord systematically follows the rules and regulations with the faith that he will achieve the platform of transcendental life. The second type of devotional friendship is to become well-wisher of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord accepts a preacher as the most dear servant. Anyone who is preaching the confidential message of the Gita to the people in general is so dear to Krishna that no one can be equal to him in human society. In Mahabharata, Draupadi says, "My dear Govinda, your promise is that your devotee can never be vanquished." I believe in that statement, and therefore, in all kinds of tribulations, I simply remember your promise, and thus I live. The purport is that Draupadi and her five husbands, the Pandavas, were put into severe tribulations by his cousin brother Duryodhan as well as by others. The tribulations were so severe that even Bhishma Dev, who was both a lifelong brahmachari and a great warrior, would sometimes shed tears thinking of them. He was always surprised that all the Pandavas were so righteous and Draupadi was practically the goddess of fortune. And although Krishna was their friend, still they had to undergo such tribulations. Though their tribulations were not ordinary, Draupadi was not discouraged. She knew that because Krishna was their friend, ultimately they would be safe. A similar statement is there in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, verse 53, where Havi, the son of King Rishabha, addressed Maharaj Nimi, "My dear king, a person who never deviates even for a moment from engagement in service at lotus feet of Supreme Person, engagement in which sought even by a great demigod like Indra, with firm conviction that there is nothing more worshipable or desirable than this, is called a first-class devotee." Sri Rupa Goswami says that neophyte devotees who have simply developed a slight love of Godhead is certainly a prospective candidate for devotional service. When he becomes firmly fixed in such devotional service, that acquired status becomes a confidential part of his devotional service. Sometimes it is found that a pure devotee lies down in the temple of the Lord in order to serve him as a confidential friend. Such friendly behavior of a devotee may be accepted as raganuga or spontaneous. Although according to regulative principle, no one can lie down in the temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This spontaneous love of Godhead may be grouped under the devotional service of friendship. Hare Krishna. Here it is
Okay.
mentioned. Hare Bol.
You want to, let's get someone else to read.
Okay.
So people ask, how can you be a friend of God? Even some people think you can't be a friend of the guru, because so many people, they don't have any friends. But friend, means you'll do anything for that person. So if you're really a friend of Krishna, then you'll do whatever you can to help Krishna and please Krishna, and have faith that he'll always be helping you also. All right. So who can read next? Who has a decent connection?
Hare Krishna
This
Maharaj,
is very
good
important.
from Francis.
Okay, this is a very important one. This is what we're all should be wanting to do.
And Adinidana Prabhu, you want to read?
Okay, read on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Surrendering. Yeah.
No,
Am I
you are
audible?
echoing. You are
Yeah.
echoing.
Yeah, that is the problem I'm facing.
Okay, I'll read, Maharaj.
Okay.
Surrendering everything to the Lord. Regarding complete self-surrender, there is a nice description in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 29th chapter, verse 34, where the Lord says, "A person who has completely surrendered unto me and has completely given up all other activities is protected by me personally, both in this life and in the next." In other words, I wish to help him become more and more advanced in spiritual life. Such a person is to be understood as having already achieved Sastri, having equal opulence with the Supreme. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that as soon as a person surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna takes charge of him and gives him a guarantee of protection from all sinful reactions. He also instructs from within so that the devotees may quickly make advancement towards spiritual perfection. This self-surrender is called Atman Nivedana. According to different authorities, self is differently defined. Self is sometimes considered to refer to the spirit self or soul, and self is sometimes considered to refer to the mind or to the body. Full self-surrender, therefore, means that not only surrendering oneself as spirit soul, but also surrendering one's mind and body to the service of the Lord. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has sung a nice song in this connection while offering himself as a fully surrendered soul. He said, "My mind, my household affairs, my body, whatever is in my possession, my dear Lord, I offer to you for your service. Now you can do with me as you like. You are the supreme possessor of everything. So if you like, you can kill me, or if you like, you can give me protection. All authority belongs to you. I have nothing to claim as my own." Sri Yamuna Acharya, in his prayer to the Lord, has explained a similar idea in the following words. "My dear Lord, I may be living within some body as a human body being, or as a demigod, but whatever mode of life, I do not mind, because these bodies are simply by product of the three modes of material nature, and I, who am in possession of these bodies, and I'm surrendering myself unto you." In the Hari Bhakti Viveka, there is a statement regarding how one can offer his body in self-surrender. There the devotee says, "My dear Lord, as a soul, as a souled animal has no need to think about his maintenance and sustenance. So because I have given up my body and soul unto you, I am no longer concerned with my maintenance and sustenance." In other words, one should not bother about his personal or family maintenance or sustenance. If one is actually surrendered in the body and soul, he should always remember that his only concern is to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami says that devotional service in friendship and devotional service in self-surrender are two difficult processes. Therefore, such relationships with the Lord can very rarely be seen. Only for the advanced devotees are these two processes easily executed. The purport is that it is very rare to see surrender that is mixed with sincere ecstatic devotion. One must give himself completely to the will of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
All right, now that's, you know, I mean, basically what we're all about. You know, devotees usually make two verses to be the most important verses in the Gita. One is accepting a spiritual master, and the other one is Sarvadharma Parityajya. So this is a very thorough, so I would like to hear you give a little, say you were asked to write a short essay or to give a talk about this particular section, this particular thing, Atmanivedana. Could you please do it right now?
Hare Krishna.
A couple of minutes.
Okay, the first thing is that my understanding of this verse is that you started by giving the two important verses, but on a practical platform, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Tikshamsa Takta Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritipurvakam Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Jenamam Upayantite. In the first paragraph, Prabhupada was talking, someone who sincerely desires to serve the Lord, how the Lord takes completely care of him. So Krishna promises in that verse of the Bhagavad Gita and Shatosloki, verse 10:10 of Bhagavad Gita, that if one tries to surrender to Krishna, Krishna gives all of the required facilities and intelligence to be able to surrender to him. And in the next verse, he mentioned very clearly, which is the next point Papa was making, that within the art, the Lord comes in, where he says that Tesham Ivanu Kampantam Aham Agyanam Jamtama. Nasayami Atma Bhavastu Gyana Deep in the Basuta, that he who is dwelling in the region of the art, he will destroy the ignorance that is embedded in the art and then give transcendental knowledge with the torchlight of. So these two verses gives.
Yeah, I know.
I came to know your
I won't be able to make.
So 7 to 8 we'll have.
You do another one. All right.
Okay. And Mark, would you like to give a Bhagavatam class tomorrow?
I could. I can try. All right. But you have so many guests here. Maybe some of them are better. All right.
I would like to hear. If you are, I mean, comfortable.
I can try. I just feel embarrassed all these advanced devotees.
Tomorrow, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's Monday.
Oh.
We give from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is the third shloka from Chatushloki Bhagavad.
All right. It's a big one.
So like
All right. Yeah. Okay, I'll try. All right.
The verse is 1:155.
Okay. I'm on a class. So I don't know. Haribol?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
I'm
So
sorry, somebody came in.
yes, I understand.
So I heard the beginning.
Yeah, so I was explaining that the impetus for understanding these verses, you started by giving two verses which are very key to this surrendering process. But in the practicality of it, in my understanding, starts from the Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita 10:10 and 10:11, where Krishna says that for those who are, to them who are constantly desiring to love me, I give the understanding and intelligence by which they come unto me. So Krishna gives the facility. Ours is just to surrender to him. Every endeavor in devotional service is empowered by the Lord himself. And that is what Krishna is saying here, that he will personally, he will give the ability to be able to do the surrender properly. And in the second verse, which is Tesham Ivanu Kampantam Aham Agyanam Jantama, that he who is dwelling in the region of the earth, he will destroy the darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of knowledge, which is given by the spiritual master, as you have quoted in 934. And then once that is done, then surrender, as given as explained in the 1866, Sarvadharma Parityajya can be attained. And when one attains that platform, then one can be able to actually relate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Srila Rupa Goswami said in the Hari Bhakti Vilas as Vivek, as quoted by Srila Prabhupada, that how we want to surrender himself but directly to the Supreme Personality of God. So by one giving the total surrender to God, as stated in the previous verse I quoted, the Lord gives all of the facilities. One becomes totally, completely, and the Prabhupada give a very nice analogy that an animal sold does not think about its maintenance or its sustenance, because the owner automatically takes care. So one takes that level of devotion or surrender to the Lord, then automatically the Lord takes care, which he promises in the 10:10 and 10:11. That's my understanding.
All right. Good. So the surrender, a lot of, and most of us, we think of the word surrender means some kind of weakness, How do you explain that?
Yeah, surrender does not necessarily mean one is incapable or one doesn't have to do anything. It's just that one has to do everything under the guidance of the Lord, through the guidance of the bona fide representative of the Lord. The process of engaging in human activities are all given in the scriptures, and by the guidance of the spiritual master, by the high of this, by the Ganeshakshu, or the seeing through knowledge, under the guidance of the spiritual master, one can do everything and everything perfectly without thinking of himself alone.
All right. So there's a lot of talk about it. Prabhupada said surrender means cooperating. And we were reading about submission yesterday. And I looked up in the dictionary. It says like a submission hold, like in a wrestling match or something. You get someone to do a hold where they can't move, or they're choking, or it's too painful, and then they have to submit. Basically, that's what the mature world is designed for, to do that to us. It just gets so bad that finally we just say, okay, I need help. I have to take care of this Krishna. Then everything becomes good. All right.
So the next one,
So
very
when you
short
surrender
one.
to Krishna, then he gives everything. He gives himself. Normally a surrender, it might not be very good. But like even in mundane world, like when Japan surrendered to America after World War II, America came in and they built factories, and they brought in all kinds of things to help the country get, recover from the war. And they did the same thing in Germany. Nowadays, they don't do that. They just exploit everybody. But Krishna is good. So if you give up trying to fight with Krishna, then you can partner with Krishna. And he'll be your partner. All right. So what is it? Performing all endeavors for Krishna.
There's one before that, offering a favorite article.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that paragraph. All right.
In the 11th
Go
canto
ahead.
of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, verse 41, Lord Krishna tells Uddhava, my dear friend, if someone offers me the best thing in his possession, or anything which is very pleasing to him, he will be eternally benefited. This sounds like
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, my dad.
I'll go ahead to the next one.
performing all endeavors for Krishna. In the Narada Pancharatra, there is a statement of how one can act in all spheres of life for the satisfaction of the Lord. It is stated there that a person who is actually in devotional service must be engaged in all kinds of activities, those prescribed in the revealed scriptures and also those that are accepted for livelihood. In other words, not only should a devotee engage himself in the prescribed duties of devotional service that are mentioned in the revealed scriptures, but he should also perform the duties of his practical life in Krishna consciousness. For example, a devotee who has a great establishment or factory may offer the fruits of such material possession for the service of the Lord. So here, the Lord is talking, Prabhupada is talking here, giving a summary, how to practically engage in devotion and service. That devotional service does not mean necessarily that we should stop our bodily activities, which has to do with the sustenance of the body, but we have to do such engagement or endeavor, offering the result or the fruit to the service of Krishna.
Okay. That's right.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, sir.
Please, may I ask some question here?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Please, let's come to where Prabhu has just read. It says, for example, that a devotee who has a great establishment or factory may offer the fruit of such a material possession for the service of the Lord. And so we know the fruit of such an establishment automatically is the profits that the one derive from that establishment, the profit that one derives from such an establishment. So such a profit, how do one offer it to the Lord? Is the person offering that fruit to the Lord, is he going to offer it in totality to the Lord, or he has to give some part of that fruit to the Lord? And I want to ask again, if such a person decides to offer all such fruit to the Lord, how can the establishment survive? This is what I want to.
Well, we've all offered food to the Lord, right? I mean, I think every devotee does that. Right? Before
Yes,
you
Maharaj.
eat, you offer your food, right? So you still eat. Krishna accepts your offering, but you don't starve, right? It gets better. Thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj.
So whatever we offer to Krishna, it just gets better. It's not like we lose it. Like if you offer to me, then you may not get it back. But if you offer to Krishna, you get back much more than you gave. So that's what we're supposed to do. You get that in
Yeah,
there?
I get you. I quite remember, Maharaj. I quite remember in the Christian Bible.
Can you hold on a minute? Somebody's calling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just.
Dhira dhira Krishna Kirtana Dharana Prabhu Premamritam Vanidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Karo Nimar Radam Pujitam
Haribol.
Yes,
All
Maharaj.
right.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
So we offer the fruits of our work. You know, like if you're working, you get money. Some of it you should offer to Krishna. You don't have to give everything and become impoverished. But we should be thinking this all belongs to Krishna. So I think this next section explains probably a lot more. Being a surrendered soul sounds good because that's what we want to know, how to be a surrendered soul, right? So
Hare Krishna.
read slowly and think deeply. Who can read next now? Is Anadi, can you have a connection now?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Right, Prabhu, I think the echo is gone now.
It's just talk for a minute. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Try reading and see how it goes.
Okay, yeah. Hare Krishna
Now
Maharaj.
it sounds good. Sounds good now.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Very clear.
Being a surrendered soul. In the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, there is the following statement about self-surrender. My dear Lord, a person who has surrendered himself unto you, who is in firm conviction that he is yours, and who actually acts in that way by his body, mind, and word, can actually release transcendental bliss. In the Nrsimha Purana, Lord Chingradev says, anyone who prays unto me and takes shelter from me becomes my word, and I protect him always from all sorts of calamities. Should I continue?
Would you like to comment?
So here, my understanding is here talking about surrendering oneself, and here they mention three things here. Say one must surrender his body, the mind, and word. That means everything that you do with the body must be in a connection with the Lord. Mind, the same thing, and even worse, by glorifying the Lord. So here, Ashingadev also is saying, anyone who prays unto me takes shelter from it. That is by words, because by words that we pray to the Lord. So one has to do this with these three things: the body, the mind, and even words. Whatever we see must be in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is by the way of my understanding. Hare Krishna.
All right. In other words, surrendering means to say, Krishna, I'm yours. You do whatever you want with me. But a devotee has absolute faith that Krishna will protect him, and there's no other shelter. And the example is that Draupadi showed us. When she was in trouble and they were trying to strip her naked, first she was asking her husbands to help her. They were helpless at the time. She asked Bhishma, she asked Drona. Nobody would help her. And then she called out for Krishna, but she was still holding on to her dress, trying to protect herself. Then she raised one hand in the air, Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, and still nothing. Then she just gave up and she just said, Krishna, I can't do anything. And immediately Krishna supplied unlimited cloth and she was saved. And there's a story that later she asked Krishna, why didn't you help me sooner? He said, you didn't ask me. You asked your husband, you asked Brahma, you asked Arjuna, you asked Yudhishthira, you asked Dronacharya to help you. So as long as we're thinking, I have so many other helpers, I have my money, I have my power, I have my position in society, and Krishna can't fully help us. But when we realize there's nothing else but Krishna, then help us.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay, next.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I have a small question. So if is saying that we should totally surrender, that then Krishna will help you. But if you give up, like in our this livelihood Delhi, if you give up everything and we just depend upon Krishna, how we can take that? How we should depend upon Krishna? Like we should do our things uh, and ask Krishna to help us like that.
Yeah, we try to do with our, but know that we need Krishna's help. Everything depends on Krishna's mercy. Not that we just lie down and think, oh, Krishna will just take care of everything. We do our best, but we know that it's not us, that Krishna's doer. And whatever we have is given to us by Krishna. Whatever money we have, whatever talent, whatever, position in society, it's all given to us by Krishna. But we have to think, Krishna, please let me use it in your service. I'm nobody. I'm yours. Then it's not like we're not doing anything. That's the foolish idea people think. Okay, devotees don't do anything. They just wait around for Krishna to do it. No. Krishna told Arjuna to think of me and fight. All right.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj, I also have a question.
Okay.
Maharaj, yesterday I was reading something and I found it very interesting. Somewhere in Shima Bhagavatam, Canto 3, where they were describing the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planet, whereby the goddesses of fortunes in the Vaikuntha planet, there are many, to the extent that some they don't even have a service to do, to the extent that even in the spiritual sky there is nothing like that. They try to uh, clean the surfaces of the marble, even though there is no dint of dirt. So, talking about devotional service, and what we are treating so far is nectar of devotion. So even the goddess of fortune, they don't have a service to do, but they are trying their own means. We here in the material world, our services is it being seen at all? Because if the last images, they don't have even a service to do. They have to create something here in the material world. One way or the other, we say we are doing a service. But is it seen by Krishna at all? I don't know if my question is clear.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what your question is, but they don't have, everybody has service to do. They want to just serve Krishna, so they serve. There's so many different ways to serve Krishna. You can sing his glories, you can serve devotees, you can, so many ways people serve Krishna. So everybody's serving Krishna in Vaikuntha in different ways. The trees are serving, they're giving their flowers and fruits, and the bees are buzzing around and giving pleasure. Everything is serving. Trees giving their fruits and flowers, and the shade, the beauty. They take all kinds of different forms in the Vaikuntha just for Krishna. They're just trying to please Krishna. But we are, in these material bodies, in this material, we have to clean the toilets because we live in this material world. But that service, we have to think of it. This is for Krishna. This is Krishna's temple. It's Krishna. If it's your house, it's Krishna's house. It's not my house, it's Krishna's house. So take care of it. It's not my family, it's Krishna's family. So Krishna has given me the job to take care of it. Understood? Okay, somebody want to read
Okay,
on then?
thank you. Yeah.
Because if we read on,
Yes, Maharaj.
we always get the answers to these questions.
Okay,
That's
Maharaj.
another secret. Okay.
7 trees such as the Tulsi. In the Skanda Purana, there is a
Tulsi.
statement. Yeah, Tulsi, yes. In the Skanda Purana, there is a statement praising the Tulsi tree as follows. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Tulsi tree, which can immediately vanquish volumes of sinful activities. Simple, by seeing or touching this tree, one can become relieved from all distresses and diseases. Simple, by offering obeisances to and pouring water on the Tulsi tree, one can become free from the fear of being sent to the court of Yamaraj, the king of death, who punishes the sinful. If someone sows a Tulsi tree somewhere, certainly he becomes devoted to Lord Krishna. And when the Tulsi leaves are offered in devotion at the lotus feet of Krishna, there is the full development of love of Godhead. In India, all Hindus, even those not belonging to the Vaishnava group, take special care of the Tulsi tree. Even in great cities where it is very difficult to keep a Tulsi tree, people are to be found very carefully keeping this plant. They water it and offer obeisance to it because worship of the Tulsi tree is very important in devotional service. In the Skanda Purana, there is another statement about Tulsi as follows. Tulsi is auspicious in all respects, simple by seeing, simple by touching, simple by remembering, simple by praying to, simple by bowing before, simple by hearing about, or simple by sowing these three, there is always auspiciousness. Anyone who comes in touch with the Tulsi tree in the above mentioned way lives eternally in the Vaikuntha world. Hare Krishna.
Haribol?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
I had to go away for a minute. Did you finish that section?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah. Did you finish the Tulsi section? Yeah. So we
Yes,
all
sir.
worship Tulsi, I think, and somehow or other in Africa is really blessed that Tulsi grows so nicely. Prabhupada said that Tulsi is a barometer of bhakti. So if Tulsi is growing very nicely, it means there's a lot of bhakti. So, but we want to take good care and get the mercy of Tulsi. Tulsi is not just some ordinary tree. Even materially, Tulsi is completely unique tree. You know that. Now it's a big thing. Tulsi tea and Tulsi medicine and Tulsi toothpaste and Tulsi everything, because they've understood the medicinal value. But devotees don't take Tulsi for that reason. We take Tulsi for spiritual benefit. But there's unlimited benefits, and Tulsi is female, only female. There's no other plants have male and female. Tulsi has only female, but she reproduces. And just the smell of Tulsi is medicinal and can keep a person healthy. And Tulsi, we know the science that plants, they give oxygen at the night. They breathe in what we breathe out. Tulsi gives oxygen day and night, 24 hours. She never doesn't. She's always beneficial, materially and spiritually. Okay.
So, yeah.
Somebody, I'm a little hung up here at the moment. My battery's going out and the power plug is dead, so I have to find power. So just keep reading.
Okay. But Maharaj, I have a little question to ask on top. You said Africa, we are blessed to have so many Tulsis growing in Africa.
What is it? I can't hear you.
You
All I
said
heard
that
was a lot of clicking. I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now I can.
Okay. You said in Africa, we are blessed to have Tulsis growing here. So my question is, what kind of devotional service as an African we have to perform to be blessed by many Tulsis around?
I don't know, it's a mystery, but Tulsi really grows good in Africa around every temple. So it means that some of the devotees are very devotional. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to ask Maharaj this question.
Anybody else like to
concerning
Somebody's
Tulasi
there.
plant. Yeah, before I came to know Tulasi as a pure devotee.
Tulsi is only to be
Krishna.
offered to Krishna. So a lot of Hindus will come and break a Tulsi off the tree, eating her, because they heard she's good medicine. But that's not nice. Only to be offered to Krishna. Okay, the next one is hearing the reveals.
Maharaj, Krishna. Krishna Maharaj. Actually, Kumara Prabhu is trying to ask a question.
I think
What want to change charge the system?
Krishna, Babaji.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Maharaj battery is low, according to him. He wants to find a solution for the light.
You want to please come again?
Maharaj, he said his battery is low.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Do you all want to read a little bit more? Or Chita Prima? Or you bring the class to an end? So let it 1 hour 30 minutes. Chita Prima. See Prem.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, what do we do? Maharaj battery is low. So
Yeah, we want to give students some open book questions.
okay, you go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, these are the questions first. Question number 3 is compulsory. Question number 3 is compulsory. And what is it? Explain in your own words each of the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service and at what stages they manifest. Give appropriate reference to chapter 1 of Nectar of Devotion. So that is it. The compulsory question. Then the second question should be on personal application. Personal application. Which my system is fighting with me. Personal application. And you can select any of it. Anyone. Any other question on personal application. The one of number 3 is on understanding. Understanding. And there are 2 questions on personal application. And one of them is describe in your own words the reference to Prabhupada's statements in chapter 10 of Nectar of Devotion, the appropriate attitude towards suffering in one's life. Discuss with relevant personal example how development of this attitude can help you deal with suffering in your life. That is number 7. Then number 8, describe the significance of the 5 most important items of sadhana bhakti with reference to chapters 11 and 12 of Nectar education. Discuss in your own words particles of practices or practical ways. Sorry, they written in practical ways you can improve your practice of the 5 most important items of sadhana bhakti. So, question number 3 is compulsory. Then you take one question from 8 or 9, 7 or 8. 7 or 8 are on personal application. Take one there. In addition to the number 3, which is compulsory. Hare Krishna. Can you understand? Is there anyone that you
I think
understand?
you should.
You make question 3 is compulsory.
Question number 3 is compulsory.
And we are adding either 9, any question from 9 or 8 or 9.
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yes.
Any one question there
Yes.
to become 2.
Yes. Your essay should be at least 350 words. At least like 1.5 pages.
Hare Krishna, but then we have to write 2 questions.
Yes, 2 essays. Yes. Question number 3. Then either 7 or 8. Is anyone there who doesn't understand? These are in page 84, 85 of the student's handbook. Page 84 or 85 of the student handbook. 84 and 85 for students handbook. Question number 3, compulsory. Then 7 or 8. Is that clear? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Is Maharaj back now? This we must submit before the next unit. Because immediately after this unit, by the next weekend, we are going to write exams for this unit. Next Sunday is exams for this unit. Next Sunday is exams for this unit. Then between now and the beginning of next unit, you must submit your essay. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
Can you tell the closed book questions from which to first chapter 11? Till 11 or 12 also is included.
Today, which chapter you do?
11. We are finished till 11.
Then Maharaj was thinking that it's finished, but it's not finished. We are finishing at chapter 19. That means we are not through yet.
His battery is low. Battery is low.
Yes, but I'm talking to the students now. I thought this is the last chapter. So that means we have to finish chapter 19 up to 19 before we do exams. So there is still more time for exams. But meanwhile, between now and the exams is to write and submit your essay Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So,
Thank you.
so next weekend is not exams, okay? Next weekend, no, it's not exams. We start exams after chapter 19. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Blue.
So we can go now.
Okay, then we can go, no problem. And also, additionally, your slokas, many of you have not delivered slokas. Some of you have delivered some slokas. So the process for the sloka is to make a self-video. You close your eyes, and you recite the sloka and the translation. So you should do, because the earlier you do, the better. If you like to compound, it will choke you up and it will become a different thing entirely. So every now and then, you should be sending your slokas. To make short videos of the slokas, make it compulsory for yourself that every week you are going to send some slokas so that it will make it easy for you. So please, those who have been doing, thank you very much. And those who have not been doing, thank you also, but there is not very much there because you have not done. But we are expecting you to do your slokas now. Between now and the end of the whole unit, you must finish your sloka. Between now and the end of the session, you should finish your sloka. Now it will have been only few weeks for Nectar devotion. Then the next unit is the last unit, which is unit 5, where we take Nectar of instruction and switch to Panisa. So between now and the end of unit 5, you should be able to deliver all your slokas. So please manage your time very well so that it will be okay for you. You will not be choked up in the end. Hare Krishna.